Hey, I'm Neil, and welcome to NeilMusic. So there's only one thing that I really want to talk about today, and that's the upcoming song that's going to be posted this weekend, Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure yet, because it's taken quite a bit longer than I thought it was going to, but I'm not sure what I expected because I've never really put time constraints on writing a song before, so I don't know what I was thinking there. I'm going to give myself kind of some just guidelines to direct myself a little bit so when I'm rambling I don't get too off track. I want to talk about the influence and the unexpected results that I had with the song. So concerning things like change in artistic direction, just the formatting of the whole song, and some of the writing of the lyrics and why that was a challenge. So to start with, the reason why I decided to go with an original song is because I went home and I visited my parents back where I grew up, and if you know anything about me, you know that I grew up essentially in the middle of a forest, which was incredible growing up. But it's also a good source of inspiration and relaxes me and brings me back down to reality. So what I wanted to do, or rather what happened there, was I went home and wandered around, walked around, took nice long walks and stuff, and found myself calming down and kind of opening up a bit and realizing that I kind of wanted to write about it. Now, so from there, my original idea when I decided to write the song was do it based on those influences. But what ended up really happening was I opened up a bit and decided to write about other things that were on my mind. And oftentimes when it comes down to writing music like this for me, I'll just start playing on my guitar, and whatever kind of vibe I get out of it, I feel like it's very natural. It's not like I'm looking to write something, not like I'm planning specifically what I want to get off my chest. But what ends up happening is I write a song and it carries that vibe, and then I end up kind of writing lyrics and then finding meaning in it later, which is kind of backwards, but it works for me. It works for me. It's unintentional, and it's not really a decision that I'm consciously making. So, but it works. Yeah, the first thing there was the change of artistic direction of focus. My first thing I wanted to do was write about that kind of mellow, monotonous sort of just feeling of just sitting in the middle of the woods. Like, I wanted to write about that because it meant a lot to me in that moment. But when I sat down and started writing, I realized that wasn't the thing on the top of my mind, and so I started writing about other things. The end result you're going to see in a couple days. Once I got some of those riffs down and I started getting sort of a general vibe of the song, just through messing around, I end up having to try to piece them together and organize. It's that kind of balance between creativity and channeling that a little bit and kind of making it sound like something that makes sense. So I ended up looking at the last song that I did, Tears in Heaven, for sort of some formatting kind of advice. Because listening to that song, it doesn't follow your typical blues setup. Verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. It kind of does its own thing and does away with those conventions. So I wanted to do something kind of similar, and so I just started messing around, and rather than try to build it on any sort of founded pattern or structure, what I ended up doing is kind of building it on a rising slope rather than up and down. It's interesting. It's very different for me, and it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. And what comes down to lyrics for me for writing songs, like I kind of said before, it's not structured or in any way patterned or anything like that. I write what fits with the music that I've written off of feelings and vibe. Structure comes from that eventually, but initially it's very raw, and I usually don't end up finding any sort of personal meaning in my own lyrics, ironically, until they're finished, and then I look back and say, oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually. That makes a lot of sense. That's exactly how I felt and what I wanted to say. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what was going on in my head and stuff when I was writing this song. It's interesting to me, just building something that I don't ordinarily build, and just activating those parts in the brain that don't really get much of a workout sometimes. It's really interesting to me. That's it. That's all. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Have yourselves a wonderful evening, and I'll see you very soon via music video. I'll see you next time. Take care.